This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. Call of Duty has become one of the most popular video games for not just teenagers out there, but also millennials and men in their 30s and 40s. And it doesn't surprise me that trending on YouTube is the latest trailer for Call of Duty. Now, I'm not going to cover this just to show you the basic signs and symbols. I'm going to cover this because people out there literally are being shown the truth right in front of their eyes. And this trailer, literally for this game, is showing you the truth. It's called Open Your Eyes, The Truth in Lies. I'm going to play the two trailers that came out for this game. Of course, you could see the thumbnail, the all-seeing eye symbolism. You will see throughout the video how they set up this new world order, because that's what they're showing you in this trailer for the game. People get excited for the game. They get excited to live in make-believe world. And they're telling you right to your faces, while you've been distracted with games and things like this and built up trust in the people they show you in this trailer, which include the likes of George Bush and Bill Clinton, people who helped build this new world order in America through the Central Intelligence Agency, while everybody out there was distracted, thinking they were living in Pleasantville, so to speak. They even show you a sign that shows you the 1991 financial report. Everybody, I've always talked about this, everybody able to buy homes. You could work at a grocery store bagging groceries and you were able to buy a home back then. That was what the American dream was. And all it was an illusion to distract feeble minds while these sick psychopaths built out their new world order around us. Look at this trailer. Notice the all-seeing eye symbolism over and over. Listen to some of the stuff they talk about with the CIA recruitment soaring, because they're referencing how the CIA built this new world order and the people involved in building it.
Be a pet. It's fun and easy. Spread the seeds and watch it grow.
Median home prices have fallen to $120,000.
Recruitment for the CIA has reached an all-time high.
New episode tonight at 9.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We are talking to you.
We are talking to you. You.
You may remember.
Remember.
A better time.
But it was false.
The truth lies.
You were blind to the lies. Blind to the lies.
You must
Find the truth.
Stop being sheep and become wolves.
open your eyes.
Open your eyes. Soon the truth will be revealed.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
We're recording. Truth is, your whole life is a lie.
You wanted peace, so we hit the war, and now it rages on in the shadows.
Behind closed doors, where we hide the world's secrets.
While we build your trust, the world falls apart around you. If you weren't so distracted, you'd realize
Nothing is what it seems. But if it's truth you seek, look in the dark.
So, of course, in that trailer, you saw them talk about the shadow government, right? These are things that people actually think are fiction. And they show you this stuff right in front of you because this is a form of hypnosis. They know most people are running by the video game to play the video game, even thinking in the video game that they might fight against the New World Order or fight against Saddam Hussein, not realizing when they're telling you that the truth lies. They're telling you that your entire reality was built on nothing but lies, because that's the real truth of the matter. Everything that you think is happening in the world is fictional. These people in that trailer are the people responsible for what we're going through right now, which is the beginning stages of the New World Order out in the open. Now, George Bush Sr., you saw some of the stuff in the trailer, George Bush, Bill Clinton, and you even saw them openly when they're telling you about the truth and lies, right? They're saying to become a wolf. Your whole life is a lie. Stop being a sheep and become a wolf, they say in the trailer. As they show you, even in front of you, while they're showing you all-seeing eye symbolism, while they're showing you how they built up this dystopia around us through CIA recruitment, through the Washington Monument right in front of your face, the Washington Monument again, 6,666 inches tall, 666 inches wide, inches, not feet, for anyone that wants to double check that. Because the Washington Monument is Baal's shaft. That's what the obelisk represents. These signs and symbols are all around us. And now as we're seeing the New World Order rolled out, they even show you in the trailer, which is pretty incredible, right? They go in and out of clips of war and then showing you the things that they've been distracting everybody with, right? Giving you the American dream, showing you these pointless sitcoms that everybody gets so obsessed with. While our government's pretending to go to war with other countries, but what they've really been doing is waging war on you, on your mind. They even show you the Masonic handshake deliberately right in front of your face, the Master Mason shake. They zoom in right on it. And if you go to the website, The Truth Lies, you'll see more of the signs and symbols over there. But what I'm going to focus on is showing you a compilation of clips in regards to George Bush Sr. Because George Bush Sr. is the one responsible in a sense for this New World Order being set up. The Bush bloodline really built the backbone in this country for the Central Intelligence Agency. That doesn't mean that George Bush is fully responsible. Prescott Bush, a lot of the Bushes who went through in Skull and Bones, who were in the OSS, which was originally the CIA. OSS became the CIA. They pretended it disbanded, but it did not. And those wicked people in those trailers who are openly telling you that there's a government behind the government, that all this stuff was being done in the shadows while you were distracted. Well, now you're seeing the fruits of their wicked labor. Here's a compilation of George Bush Sr., the one featured in that game, who, of course, more so than anybody else, has been exposed out in the open as being one of the architects of this New World Order, openly admitting in office about a New World Order, even speaking about it on that specific day, the 11th of September back in 1990. Here's a compilation of clips about George Bush. And of course, you even heard Bill Clinton mocking scripture, citing Matthew chapter 5, verse 9, saying, Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers because they will be called sons of God. And they cut it off after he said, blessed are the peacemakers, because those people you saw in that trailer follow all the same secret society mottos, and they believe that they are as gods among us, which goes back to Mr. Skull and Bones, George Bush, and Skull and Bones 322, the motto, which is based off of Genesis chapter 3, verse 22. The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. And they believe that's exactly what they've done. They've become like gods. Here's George Bush Sr.
Read my lips. The crisis in the Persian Gulf, as grave as it is, also offers a rare opportunity to move toward an historic period of cooperation. Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, East and West, North and South, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known. A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. A world where the strong respect the rights of the weak. This is the vision that I shared with President Gorbachev in Helsinki. He and other leaders from Europe, the Gulf, and around the world understand that how we manage this crisis today could shape the future for generations to come. The test we face is great, and so are the stakes. This is the first assault on the new world that we seek. the first test of our mettle. Had we not responded to this first provocation with clarity of purpose, if we do not continue to demonstrate our determination, it would be a signal to actual and potential despots around the world. America and the world must defend common vital interest, and we will.
This is exciting. This is New World Order to me means freedom and democracy. I think we will have a continuing responsibility as the only remaining superpower to stay involved. So the New World Order to me means freedom and democracy, keep engaged, do not pull back into isolation, and we are the United States, and we have a responsibility to lead and to guarantee the security. If it hadn't been for us, Saddam Hussein would be sitting on top of 3/5 of the oil supply of the world, and he'd have nuclear weapons.
And he'd keep his promise, even when the dark clouds of political crisis gathered over America. After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy, our nation turned to Gerald Ford and a select handful of others to make sense of that madness. And the conspiracy theorists can say what they will, but the Warren Commission report will always have the final definitive say on this tragic matter. Why? Because Jerry Ford put his name on it, and Jerry Ford's word was always good. A word about the President. For 7.5 years I've worked alongside him, and I'm proud to have been his partner. And we've had triumphs. We've made some mistakes. We've had some setbacks. Sometimes I feel like the...
I've been to parties, but I've never seen anything, so... But I've seen some parties down in Washington. I've seen President Bush there, which I'd rather not talk about him.
What year was that? Was he president or vice president?
Vice president. That's when he was still vice president. I've never met him as president because he became president in '88, and I never went around him after that.
You saw him at how many of these parties?
I've seen him at about 3 or 4 parties. And at every one of the parties, you had a little ID card that you had to have. And they had a little scanner thing that when you went in, they run it across this thing to get in there and stuff. They had special, they had special agents everywhere, Secret Service men everywhere and stuff. And I fell off the balcony of the place. They had a little window and stuff, and I was sitting on there, and I fell off. Didn't get hurt, I got up, but I dropped my car, and I had Secret Servicemen with about 500 guns pointing, about 20 guns pointing at my head when I tried to go back in. Until our king came over and straightened it out and said he belongs in here. And, that was kind of a spooky thing when you have all those guns pointing in your face and you're only about 15, 16 years old. But the reason was because the vice president was there, so they had to have all the Secret Service. But I also seen that some of them, I've seen people like Maureen Reagan, which is, I believe, President Reagan's daughter.
What did Vice President Bush hang around after the party was over, or what?
He was after the party a couple times, and we were hiding in the closet, but I didn't do nothing with him. He was with a black kid, and he was with a white kid.
What do you mean with a white kid and a black kid?
Well, there was one...
Tell me about the time when you were in the closet.
Well, me and this other kid, we were...
Who's the other kid?
I can't even remember right now. He was from the Washington, D.C. area. So he wasn't from around here, but we were just sitting in the closet talking, just kind of trying to mind our own business. We were staying away from the rest of the party. We were in a back room in the bedroom.
Was this after the formal party was over?
Well, it was kind of during the formal party, but it was after a lot of people had already started leaving and stuff. And remember that a couple of Secret Servicemen came in. One went to the window and looked around outside the window and stuff. The other one came in, looked in the closet, and thought he'd seen us.
Was it dark?
He had a flashlight. The lights were off. He didn't even bother turning the lights. Come in with a flashlight. Looked in the closet. I guess he didn't really look around it because me and him were sitting on a foot right below him. It kind of looked like this. He didn't even look down. Kind of looked like that and stuff. Turned around, walked out of the room and stuff, and then we seen this other guy come in and stuff, and I didn't recognize him at first.
Was the closet door open or closed?
It was partially open.
Okay. So
we could see out there and stuff. And, It's like the two people I knew as Webb. There's two kids I knew as Webb and stuff. One of them was from Western area. Here's a white kid, and the other one was a black kid. I seen it 2 different times.
2 different Webbs. One is a white, one is a black kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was from Omaha or somewhere out here.
Was the white kid or the black kid from Omaha?
The black kid.
Okay.
He's one that's from this area. And I seen at the time Vice President Bush go in and.
Lampe, Missouri was a place where I heard George Bush and Bill Clinton talking. Where, from the point of view I had, they certainly were friends, and they didn't recognize any party lines between them. That's something for the, a smoke and mirrors illusion for the public. It's not something they adhere to because they had exactly the same agenda, and that was for bringing in this New World Order. I heard George Bush talking at that time. He was talking to Bill Clinton, and I've since photographically recorded it and wrote it verbatim in our book, that when the American people became disillusioned with Republicans leading them into the New World Order, that Bill Clinton, as a Democrat, was going to be put into the office of president. This was decided in 1984. Actually, I'd heard about it even prior to that, but as of 1984, they were already discussing it as an absolute fact. It was also discussed in the groundwork for NAFTA that by the time George Bush went into the office of president, that Salinas was going to become president of Mexico, and they together would be bringing in the NAFTA, which was the beginning of New World Order controls. I was forced to participate in the criminal groundwork for NAFTA, the opening of the Juarez-Mexican border to the free trade of drugs, free trade of our nation's children. It's absolutely appalling, the criminal roots of NAFTA. Again, this is detailed in the book. But it's interesting to note that these political moves had already been decided way back when. And as I deprogrammed, and as I was, it was really something to me to find out people didn't know about this stuff. I mean, it was so obvious to me. I didn't realize that people were unaware and had bought into some kind of smoke and mirrors illusions of what was going on and never thought to look behind the scenes to what was really going on. But I understand good people don't think that way. They don't have criminal minds. They don't think to look for that kind of criminal activity. Just like these guys are limited in their thinking by immorality, good people are kind of blinded from that kind of criminal activity until their eyes are open to truth. This criminal activity that was going on at that time, the people that were involved were following directions from George Bush. I don't purport to know it all. I don't purport to know that George Bush is at the very top of all this, but he is as high up as I knew. It was my experience that Ronald Reagan answered to George Bush, not robotically, not under mind control, but willingly, because George Bush was respected for what he knew about bringing in the New World Order. Consider his past. George Bush first began with the United Nations. Then he went on to head our CIA. Then he ran our country through 3 administrations that I'm aware of, the Reagan administration, his administration, and the Clinton administration, because Reagan and Clinton both answered to him. Mexican President de la Madrid answered to him and knew that Salinas was to be coming into power, and Salinas had more influence in Mexico at that time than de la Madrid, that, as far as my experience was concerned. Also, Saudi Arabian King Fahd followed orders from George Bush, as did the Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney. In 1983, I heard Ronald Reagan and Brian Mulroney discussing the New World Order.
A better America, where there's a job for everyone who wants one, where women working outside the home can be confident their children are in safe and loving care, and where government works to expand child care alternatives for parents, where our schools challenge and support our kids and our teachers, and where all of them make the grade.
Now, I have some sources, some confidential sources, who furnish me information from time to time. And there's code words for some of these various operations. The code word that I'm going to tell you about right now, and this is in my source's own handwriting. He doesn't write too well, so I may make some mistakes. The Black Rose is the code word for this. It's a clandestine group of U.S. government operatives, primarily the CIA, which has for many years run illegal drugs and arms operations in both Southeast Asia via the Golden Triangle and the Middle East via the Golden Crescent, funded by the British socialist-based Russell Trust drug cartel. The Black Rose's current chairman and co-founder is an individual known as the White Rose, or GHWB.
For us, the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
So again, this entire trailer for this video game is really showing you how they've established a new world order right around us. They're telling you while you're playing video games like this, while you're living in this fake reality that we've created for you, we've been destroying the world around you. We've been setting this up, and now it's time to detonate everything around us to bring this new world order, this Phoenix Rising, out of the ashes. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.